Radio London. I'm Jim Davis, sitting in for Riz Latif this Friday morning. 0800 731 2000 is our phone number if you'd like to share with us your memorable Wembley moment, or most memorable Wembley moment. You've probably been there many times, and I'd love to hear that story this morning. You can also email jim@bbc.co.uk. Right, let's talk now to our early worker. We do this every day. We talk to the Londoners who get up and about early doors, moving around and making sure London is ready for another day. And today I'm joined by the very prestigious Katie Weil, who's the General Manager of Westfield in Shepherd's Bush. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Well, I'm very, very well. And it's a real pleasure to speak to you because I'm a regular at your mall, if I could call it that, at your establishment. And forgive the naivety, but I would imagine, and many people might imagine, that the general manager might be a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 role. But here you are as our early worker. So I'm suspecting that's not necessarily the case.
It's not the case, no. It's pretty much all the time when sort of needs and things occur, really. So on call at weekends if the team need me, or I pop into the centre myself at weekends when we have key things going on. So yeah, it's a pretty full-on job, but I love it.
I bet. And I remember when Westfield Shepherd's Bush opened, the first of the two biggies really in London, isn't it? And it was a huge event. I think I was invited to the opening, as I recall now, and it was very, very special. And what I find fascinating about the Shepherd's Bush Westfield is that it's right there in the heart of things, isn't it? You're part of the community.
Absolutely, yeah. It's we are in a very privileged position in Shepherd's Bush and White City, and we work really hard to ensure that we partner with our community. In fact, this weekend we have an Eid festival going on at both centres, Westfield Stratford and Westfield London, celebrating all things Eid with food and fashion for the whole family.
Fantastic.
So it's in a key position in London.
Yeah, well, you've got two tube stations, so that's pretty special in itself, isn't it? I've always been interested in the role of the centre management, i.e. yourself and your team, because of course we go for the shops and we go for your tenants in the many units that you provide. We don't necessarily think about the logistics of the mall itself, but perhaps you can describe some of the responsibilities you have, A, to your tenants and perhaps then B, to the public.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 24/7 operation, as you can imagine. We have teams in 24/7 cleaning, security, and making sure that the centre is looking its best. We are the largest shopping centre in Europe, and making sure that we are looking our best every single morning throughout the day is a full-time job for me and my incredible team, who work very hard, and our partner contractors who work incredibly hard as well.
I can imagine. And obviously when it comes round to things like Eid and indeed Christmas will be a major event for you. I'm sure you're already planning for this year's Christmas festivities and the decorations that you have to choose and all that kind of thing. What sort of effort goes into things like that?
Yeah, that starts 12 months out at least, I would say. We were talking about Eid right at the end of the last year's Eid festival. We make sure that we have a full agenda throughout the year. We've just celebrated a sort of big promotion with beauty. We had a marketing campaign for beauty in March at both centres. We make sure that we try and have something different for when customers come, because we have a lot of customers that do come very frequently every week, and then some people that don't come for a few months, and we need to make sure that there's always fresh looking things in the centre.
Yeah. There may be people listening, Katie, and I'm sure you speak to them regularly, who are fiercely passionate about supporting local and independent traders, whereas of course establishments like Westfield are full of household names and high street stores. So how do you work in partnership, particularly in an area like Shepherd's Bush where there are many local and independent traders, to ensure that you're not sort of stamping them out and actually working alongside them?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have opportunities throughout the centre for small and large retailers alike. We've currently got a pop-up within the centre that does support independent small retailers. we've had quite a few success stories where people have taken a kiosk and then moved into a full-sized unit. And actually, we're really proud of the work that we do with the community in that. So I think the perception is that we only support the larger retailers, but that really isn't the case, actually.
Oh, that's good to hear. Food plays a big role, doesn't it, in people coming to an establishment like yours? And the variety of food is almost overwhelming at times, I find. But there's certainly something for everyone, isn't there?
There is indeed, actually. We have sort of over 70 places to eat and drink within Westfield, London, from kiosks to larger units. Just before Christmas, actually, we opened our first ever McDonald's. But then we also have some incredible retailers such as Sticks and Sushi, which opened at the back end of last year. We have Salt Yard, Flatiron, and actually food is doing very well for us. And we find now that people do enjoy going out for food-related entertainment as much as sort of a traditional day of retail. So yeah, food is a very important part of our offer. And, of course, when you're shopping and maxing out, your spending, then you need somewhere to rest and rejuvenate, and food offers that opportunity.
And I need to tag on a question, really, don't I, about the cost of living and the effect, I suppose, that we're seeing on the high streets, perhaps more locally, people perhaps not shopping physically and in person as much as they once did. Are you seeing any trends that mirror that in the giant mall?
We've bounced back actually really well across both of our centres. Our footfall is increasing on last year. I think the people still want to go out and treat themselves. And I think, the bricks and mortar retail offers customers something that online can't. And I think, particularly the beauty world, where you need to be able to try and test and speak to experts. I mean, we recently had Sephora open its first store in the UK since the early 2000s, and that was in March, and we had queues of up to sort of 5,000 people that day. Footfall up 20% on the year, and I think it is tough out there for people, but I think we've offered such a variety of free activities over Christmas where families could come and meet Father Christmas for free, and then sort of get that Christmas spirit, and that's always very important to us in both of our London centres, to make sure that we're offering free things for our community as well.
Well, I could talk to you much more, Katie, because I'm genuinely fascinated by it all. I'm really interested in retail, and it's a dynamic environment, to say the least, isn't it?
It is indeed. Well, give me a shout next time you're in, and perhaps we can have a little walk round.
I'd love to do that. I'd love to do perhaps a more in-depth walk around and get under the skin of such an important establishment in London's shopping landscape. Thank you, Katie. Really good to talk to you. Katie Weil there, Westfield Shepherd's Bush General Manager. I don't know, how do you feel about the big malls? They play an important role in our shopping landscape, don't they? And clearly, as you were hearing from Katie, they're still a destination. I suppose there's something about going to a mall that's different to the high street, isn't it? Because you can do that, the food thing, and then the cinema thing if you want to, as well as doing your shopping, and get a bit of retail therapy. It's the coming together moment, isn't it? That perhaps the high street doesn't offer in quite the same way. You're welcome to let me know, of course. We're always interested to hear your feedback on everything that we cover here on the programme. It's 7:32 now, though, so let's get you the latest news headlines. And here's Julian Perkins.